Hi, welcome to Ten-Tec TV. My name is Scott Robbins. My call sign is W4PA, and I'm the amateur radio product manager for Ten-Tec Incorporated. And today on Ten-Tec TV, we are going to talk about our brand new high-power antenna tuner, the model 238C. The 238C is an L-network antenna tuner. This is another updated cosmetic version of an L-network tuner that we have had in production now for many, many years. That started with the model 229. And went through some subsequent revisions to match the cosmetics of rigs we had out in the 1970s and 1980s to the eventual model 238 and 238A, B, and now C. The 238B was the last version of this tuner we had out. The differences between the new 238C and the previous version are we are now using a cross-needle SWR watt meter on the 238C. We now have peak and average reading power output capability, and a larger case and larger tuning capacitor than we had in the previous version of the antenna tuner. What I'm going to do here today is kind of just give you a quick overview of what the antenna tuner looks like, what the functions on the front are, and then I'll give a short example of how easy it is to tune this tuner up. You can see here on the front of the tuner, this is the 238C. This is an L-network antenna tuner. We have a variable capacitor here. We have a roller inductor here. This is a bypass knob that is marked low Z, high Z. Essentially, the use of this is to reverse the L network. Depending upon whether you are matching a load that is above or below 50 ohms, you will want to switch the capacitor either in line with the transmitter or with the antenna. That's the purpose of this switch here in the middle. We have a 4-position antenna selector switch that you see here. You can attach up to 4 50 ohm coax fed antennas to the connectors on the rear panel. There's also an internal balun on position number 4 for using ladder line should you choose to do so. These are switches for the power meter, 2 kilowatt and 200 watt scales. We also have peak reading and average reading functions here. Meter lamp is lit with 13.5 volts DC. The peak reading function of the antenna tuner also requires that you have DC power applied. If you want to just measure SWR and average power, you don't have to hook the antenna tuner up to DC power. You can do that just without it. Okay, so I'll give an example now of how to tune this. We are starting with this tuner in the bypass mode. Bypass meaning that the transmitter, the Orion 2 that's next to it here, is connected right now directly out to a G5 RV antenna that's out in the front yard here at Ten-Tec. Capacitor at a setting of 2. I'll put this over here a little bit. 2. Roller inductor is set to the minimum value at the moment. I'll show you an example of what happens when you turn this roller inductor. There's a concentric turns counter. As I turn this, you can see the pointer go up to 10. That's the number of turns, and it actually corresponds to the number of rotations of the dial as you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's now on 5. Capacitor's direct drive turns in a complete circle. Fully meshed is at 10. Unfully meshed is at 0. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll put in a little bit of capacitance. We will do a little transmission here. I'm on 40 meters CW. And you can see on the meter, here I'm going to move this camera just a hair closer. On the meter, on the scale over here at the right side is SWR. The meter that you see reading on the left side is power output. I've got the rig set at about 40 watts of output power here at the moment. I'm going to hit tune power, and you can see we've got a fairly high SWR. It's maybe 4 to 1 approximately here at the moment. Okay, so to begin tuning this, what we will do is we will look for a spot using the high Z, low Z switch in the middle to see if we get a little bit of a null or a drop in SWR. Now, I would caution you, you want to do this with low transmitter power. Certainly, the wafer switches in here is not meant to be switched running hundreds of watts or 1,000 watts through. I've turned the transmitter power down here on the Orion 2 to about 40 watts. I'm going to key the transmitter down. Now I'm going to flip this switch, and you can see that's going the opposite direction. That's not what we want. We're going to go this way. That's going the opposite direction as well. Okay, maybe what we'll do now is give this a little bit of extra capacitance to see if that makes a difference. Hit tune power. And maybe a little bit of inductance. See if now we're getting a little bit of a drop. Oh, there you go right there. That was easy. We have now tuned that to flat SWR without much effort whatsoever on our part. That's how easy tuning this tuner can be. You can, alternatively to flipping the high Z, low Z switch in the middle, also merely tune the receiver for band noise. And as I tune this away, you can hear now there's a null. The noise that you heard is going away as we get further away from resonance. I go back down here to kind of where we were before. Now you're hearing band noise again. That's another quick way that you can sort of tune this tuner to resonance. The L network actually acts as a little bit of a low-pass filter as well. One of the advantages to the L network is that you can, once you've tuned it to a specific frequency, let's say somewhere on the 40-meter phone band, for example, you got a pretty broad range that you can tune this thing from. You can essentially cover just about the entire 40-meter phone band with a G5 RV just by tuning it somewhere in the middle. It doesn't, unlike a T or a Pi network, doesn't have fairly sharp resonances, meaning that once you've tuned away from it, you don't have to constantly retouch the tuner to match the frequency that you're currently using. The 238C will be available shortly. We showed this a date in this year, 2009, and we are building them now here in June and probably expect to have them shipping by the 1st of July. We are taking orders, of course. If you would like to place an order, give us a call at 800-833-7373. Visit our website at www.tentec.com. Until next week on Ten-Tec Television, my name is Scott Robbins, W4PA, the Amateur Radio Product Manager for Ten-Tec. Thanks, and 73.